All right, everyone, good evening. We are really glad to be with you, and I see at least one participant is glad to be with us again. We had our first series with Beautifully Fed this summer, and we're back. So I'm Afia with WorkWell NYC. WorkWell NYC is the city's employee wellness initiative. We intend to support you all bringing programs, resources, and other wellness supports to you in the worksite. And then, of course, remotely, as we have been working for several months at this point. We have 4 areas of wellness focus, including our Move More area, which supports physical activity, our Take Action area, which connects with taking action for your health, including the flu vaccine that's available this fall and other chronic disease prevention and support programs and resources. We have our Be Well, Thrive NYC area, all about mental health and resilience. And then lastly, our Eat Well focus area. And this programming falls in line with our Eat Well focus area. So we are really excited to have you all here. Those who are interested in learning how to eat well by cooking in some new ways. And this season, this fall edition is chock full of wonderful fall favorites, things that hopefully you guys are excited to eat and cook. So I will pass it on to our team with Beautifully Fed, whether it's Fiona or Chef Karen, who want to take the lead. And thank you again. And we look forward to continuing to cook with you this season.
Yeah, we're super excited. Thank you for that intro, Afia. Hi, I'm Karen. I'm from Beautifully Fed Food, and we're so glad to be with you all again for this series. So I am one of the partners of Beautifully Fed Food. We are a co-op of women of color committed to reducing health disparities through food, one delicious bite at a time. And so we bring to you plant-based recipes, mostly from our cultures, where we're from. We try to call recipes that we grew up eating, not necessarily grew up cooking. So we're learning in many cases along with you. And sometimes we make recipes from, that I was born in America, for instance. My mom is from Jamaica, my dad is from Cuba, but I grew up here. I grew up in the Bronx. And, I eat American food. And sometimes I just will add a little Caribbean flair on a pepper just about everything from time to time. So we'll be doing more of that, and we're excited to be cooking with you. Today we're making a butternut squash pizza, and I'm curious to know who's cooking with us, but I want my co-chef here, Fiona, to introduce herself first, and then we'll get started with everything else. Sounds good?
Hey everybody, I am Fiona. I am also with Beautifully Fed Food, and I always laugh at myself because I'm with a business that has a name that I always stumble when I pronounce, but I'm so excited to be here with you again this evening. I see some familiar faces and some familiar names, and so it's really great to be back. I am a partner with BFF, and I am also a fitness instructor, a home cook, and just an overall wellness advocate. I think particularly now, it's so important that we nourish ourselves, that we connect, and that we just do everything that we can to, stay positive and nourish throughout this time. So again, I'm really excited to be back with those of you who've been with us, and so very glad to welcome those of you who are with us for the first time. BFF is Beautifully Fed Food. I have to say it slowly. Welcome.
Welcome, all of you. And yes, to those who were with us before, you'll be excited to see that Fiona is going to be cooking this time around. So we're taking turns. 2 of the classes will be led by her, and I'll be playing sous chef. So I'll be behind the scenes, controlling all the things, like she does for me. And I'm so glad Fiona mentioned the idea behind all this is around like the ways that we nourish ourselves, right? All the ways we feed ourselves, not just with the food that we eat, but who we surround ourselves with, particularly in this time of COVID and quarantining and mask wearing and all of that. And the fact that winter is coming on. Although here in Brooklyn, you wouldn't have known it this weekend. It was amazing. And I'm, like I said, family from the Caribbean. I was surrounded by the sunshine. I loved it. But winter is coming. And I'm curious to know, we're going to get into it later, but start to think about how you're preparing for the winter. Maybe winter is something that you like and you're anticipating it with great joy. And maybe you're like me and you're not. And what are you doing for yourself, you know, in anticipation to provide yourself with that comfort, with that nourishment in ways that are good for you, right? In ways that are healing. So like I said, we're going to get to that soon. But for now, I want you to know what we're cooking. That's important. And then I want to see who amongst you is cooking with us. It's not a requirement, but it's always fun if you can cook. And I see some folks in their kitchen. And one of the things that Fiona will be doing to assist tonight is to spotlight or come into your kitchens if you are cooking along, to kind of see how you're doing and guide you along the way if you have any questions. And it's your opportunity to kind of just like share with us what's up and going on with you. So yeah, we're making butternut squash and caramelized onion pizza. We're gonna make our own pizza dough, but it's a weeknight, if you wanted to go and buy your own pizza dough at your local pizzeria, totally fine. But this dough is super easy to make. I've made a lot of pizza in my life and with a bunch of different dough recipes, and they don't always come out the greatest. This one is super simple, I promise you. And it comes out the same every single time. So yeah. Who is cooking with us? I want to know.
By the way, I am just posting the recipe in the link again in case you missed it earlier. But yeah, I see Marissa's cooking. I know Ava's cooking. Who else is in the kitchen? I heard, let's see, I heard you checking on your recipe earlier, Mr. Coffee. I know you're cooking with us.
Fantastic.
By the way, even if you're not cooking, we would love for you, we invite you to, of course, it's just an invitation to turn on your camera so that you can just talk with us and engage with us. Because again, for me, this isn't just about the cooking. It's also just about connection and really, thank you. Thank you, Janelle. Thank you for turning on your camera.
Totally. It's about being in community with you all and getting to see your
for sure.
Feel that energy.
I'm only going to make the caramelized onions and I'm going to just observe the rest of it.
Sounds good. What plans do you have for the caramelized onions?
No, I'm just going to follow because I want to learn how to make that part.
How to make it?
Sounded like 3 separate cooking classes, honestly.
Right? Yeah, there are 3 different. I'm so glad you said that, Esther. You're absolutely right. There are, I usually make this, when I do these classes, for one, when we do these classes, typically we're in person. COVID has changed things for us. So we're switching to this virtual situation. So it's new. And typically my recipes tend to be like really simple, 1 pot dishes, 1 pan dishes, the thing. However, for whatever, I really love pizza and I love butternut squash and I wanted to make this dish. And so there are 3 different components to making this dish. We're going to first make the dough. Then we're going to make the caramelized onions. I've started mine. If you want to start yours, go ahead. But particularly if you have a small pan that you're working with, you're going to want to start early because you'll be doing it in batches, right? Because you don't want to crowd the pan too much. And so the caramelized onions. And then the third thing is the butternut squash puree. In addition to cutting up cubes of squash to put on top of the pizza, we're also going to use the butternut squash itself as the sauce for our pizza as opposed to using tomato sauce. And that makes it really creamy, really earthy experience and pure deliciousness. I love it. Trust me, it's
another quick question. Is there a quick
question?
Is there a way you can say how thick or thin should the onion rings be? That's why I did not start it. I did not know.
Smart. You want to make them, let me show you.
By the way, while Karen is going to get that, she says she does simple recipes. It's not true. Karen is really fancy, but it's going to be so delicious. But she's fancy.
It's fancy, but easy fancy. Like
of course, fancy, it is. It's doable, but you will be like a master chef when you get done with Karen's recipes. Next week, we're doing a simple recipe, just so you know.
Don't let her fool you, y'all. I'm in her kitchen. I'm in her kitchen right now. This chick is fancy. I saw something. I can't remember what it is right now, but I was like, I have no idea how. Other side, did you want a little smaller than half an inch? Can you see that? Is that helpful to you?
Yeah. Thank you.
Because you don't want it to be too. Yeah, you don't want it to be too thin because then it'll fall apart on you and won't really hold. So this, because it's going to reduce some. So, okay, that's what you're looking for. Yay, great question. So please do start on cutting your onions. And we're going to start, I'm going to get this out of my way, because we're going to start making our pizza dough. So we want to have...
We separate the rings?
Say it again? Yeah. So what?
You separate the onion rings?
I'm glad. Okay, since folks want to do that, let me show you. I'm going to do it right now. Yes, you separate the rings. And in fact, I'm going to show you an easy way to cut an onion. So when I first learned this about how to cut an onion, it revolutionized my whole cooking experience. So it was like, oh my God, I feel like a master chef. Like I take less time in the kitchen now because I know how to cut an onion. So how you cut an onion? You look at the root, right? The pretty brown, gritty part at the bottom. You put that away from you. And then you cut the opposite side. We're just going to cut thinly just to get this off. The idea is to make a flat surface because things can't roll away from you. And things rolling away from you presents a cutting hazard. And so we're always trying to find ways to be safe in the kitchen. So now that I've removed the half, it doesn't roll, right? And it sits straight up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut through the root. And this way the root stays completely intact and allows you to cut the onion without having the onion pieces fly away from you. Because that's what would happen to me in my kitchen. I'd spend so much time cutting an onion and then the rest of the time trying to gather the pieces that flew away on the floor, on the countertop. And it was just annoying. So this keeps everything intact. It's like magic. I love it. So now we take, and also cutting it this way also allows you to remove the skin really easily. I used to struggle with the skin. Now not so much, although today a little bit. Okay, there we go. Make your life easy. So we take off the skin, and then what we're gonna do is you're gonna point the root away from you, right? And you're gonna take your knife, and the whole idea, remember, the root is what's holding the onion together so it doesn't fly away. So you never want to cut directly through the root. We're going to start at the root and then make slices, kind of following the rings of the onion itself, the grooves that are inherently in it, following it as a guide, but we don't have to get too precise. We're not going to cut every single line in there, but we're going to cut a few inches apart, starting at the tip of the root and then going all the way through. And because all we need are onion rings, this is the only cut we need to make, just a single cut all the way through. If we're making a dice, and I'm going to show you on the next one, if we wanted to dice this onion, you could do two more cuts, one or two more cuts if you wanted to. Hold on. So now, and I'm going back because I know about how thick I want my rings. So I want to make sure everything is the same size. So I just have to cut it the one time. Ta-da. All right. And you could already see, right, that the onion is like intact. It's not falling apart. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Ta-da.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Done. And now you take off. Now it's time to take off the tip. Now you can cut down and remove the end. And now you have these beautiful rings.
Karen, do you also want to talk just a little bit about how to hold the knife? Because I'm...
True. Yeah. We have some newbies with us. Okay, I'm going to do that on the next one. So we usually go over this in our knife skills training. And since we're starting from basics, I can show y'all because it's super helpful too. How you hold it. All right. So
I know we also have some kitchen pros with us, but for those who need a refresher, yeah,
hopefully this will be just a review for y'all who know. And for y'all who know, also, if you have additional tips that you've discovered along the way that you want to share, we welcome that. Plus, we should say this is an interactive class. Like I told you, we're used to doing this class in public. There is no mute. People, we talk back to us when we talk to them. We expect the same sort of thing here. So please do share what you're learning, what you're discovering.
Claudia mentioned in the chat that this cutting method also helps to prevent crying while cutting the onion.
probably because it goes by so quickly. You're spending less time, less cuts with the onion. Yeah, and so less crying. Although sometimes it's the onion itself. I feel like some onions are just juicier. Yeah, I was crying earlier, and usually I don't cry because I've been cutting onions so long and so many times. I thought I was immune to it, but I got a really juicy onion earlier, and the tears just came. I was like, ah!
So and actually, that was a question. I'm sorry, Esther. That was a question, not a comment. I believe that what I've been told is that soaking the onions in cold water helps to cut back on the tearing. Has anybody else heard that?
Have you experienced it? Have you tried it?
I don't really get teary when I'm cutting onions, so I don't know.
Okay. So yeah. I'm curious if anybody's actually tried that.
Yeah. Has anyone tried it? We would love to hear.
Anybody?
Esther said putting it in the fridge helps. Chewing gum. Claudia said that she heard. Claudia, are you pulling our leg? She said she heard that chewing gum helps. She hasn't tried it though. That one's super interesting.
That is. I'd be curious about that one. I'm not so sure. They told me chewing gum also works when you're on the plane and your ears pop, and it never worked for me. So, might just be me. Whichever. All right, y'all. I want to show you how to hold the knife. So this is a chef's knife. This is the knife used most often at Beautifully Fed Food and by most chefs because it does like all the jobs well. And yeah, so the way and what distinguishes it is it has a long blade and it curves in just a little bit and it allows for like this rocking motion that you see pro chefs do. That is kind of cool. I used to think that any knife can do that, and I would try to do that with it. It's not true. You need a chef's knife to do that, and it really does like reduce fatigue and eases like the strain on your joints and so forth. It's really, and it makes it so that when you get a rhythm to it, you actually enjoy the process of cutting. Cutting for me is like really methodical and like meditative. Put on some music, have a little glass of wine. Like I'm in the zone. So the way to hold it is you want to grab the knife at the end of the blade with your two fingers. You're just pinching it, and then you see where the rest of your fingers naturally fall, and you hold it there. And so this allows you to have the most control over the knife if you need to go this way, that way, and you really have perfect control over it. So that's it. And you also want the knife to be sharp. In our knife skills class, we'll talk about like best ways to sharpen your knife, but you want a sharp knife is a safe knife. It might sound counterintuitive, but it's because it does the job the one time. You cut down and you're done. There's no need to saw it. There's no need to like really fight with it unless you're cutting a butternut squash, which is why if you haven't already, if you're making butternut squash with us, please put it in the oven to soften it so you don't have to go through the madness. Butternut squash is like the hardest vegetable, fruit, whatever it is, the hardest produce to cut. Like it just is. And there is a way to cut it with your chef's knife and you can really press down to. I'm not about the struggle. Put it in the oven. Let it sit there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then take it out and cut it. So anyway, so this is
spaghetti squash, any kind of squash.
Any kind of squash. Squash is just hard. So okay, so now, you have it yoked up, you're holding it, and then the idea is to cut down, and then you go forward. The idea, so what's happening here is the knife never leaves your cutting board when you're cutting. You just go down and forward, down, you bring it back, you cut down, and then you bring it forward, back and down, and bring it, and that's what allows for this movement right here. There is no, typically, again, when you're cutting butternut squash, there is a lot of this. There isn't going to cut you good. Anyway, but ideally you want a situation that allows you to do this, and that's what makes it really relaxing and really easy. Any questions?
I think we're ready. We're ready to move on, right, folks? I think that people are in their kitchens and ready to go.
All right. Okay, cool. So I'm going to put this aside. Now we're going to make the dough. So the dough needs a few minutes to rise. So we want to make sure to do that ahead of time. So we've got our flours, and then we're doing, this is a blend of white flour and whole wheat flour. So it actually calls for 3/4 cups. I'm doing more because, again, like I said, I love this recipe and I want to double it. So I'm doubling mine. But I've got my flour. And I think I'm doing what I said to do first. Let's see. Oh, the first thing, make sure that you put what you're going to cook your your pizza on, put that in the oven to preheat. Particularly if you're using a rimmed baking sheet, or in my case, I'm going to use a cast iron skillet. I'm going to use the back of it because you want a flat surface that you don't want to have to like, if it has a rim, maybe it has a rim, you'd have to like dig in to lift up the dough, and doing that might cause it to rip. So you want it to be a flat surface that there's nothing impeding it. And so I'm going to use my cast iron skillet. It's already in the oven. I can show you if you want to see. And you want to preheat it because this is the key. You want to put the dough on something that's like, that makes it sizzle, that makes it hot, because that's what crisps it, and you get that crunchy experience when you eat the dough. So that's the ones that I had recently that just game changer, changed everything. So go ahead, heat up your whatever you're gonna make your pizza dough on. Okay, make sense? All right, cool. And now I have the flours. I'm gonna add my yeast. We're doing rapid rise instant yeast. That's what allows this to be made so quickly. A lot of the recipes I was finding when I was doing this a couple of years ago was, you know, it required the dough to sit overnight. And, you know, when you want pizza now. You don't want pizza tomorrow. So it would piss me off. But this allows you to have pizza in 30 minutes. So we put, the recipe actually calls for 2 packets. Like I said, I'm doubling, so 4 packets. So right now we're doing, you know, kind of like baking. You're putting in your dry ingredients first, and then you're going to add to this your wet ingredients. So I've got my yeast.
Is active dry the same as rapid rise?
Go ahead.
It's not.
Is active dry the same as rapid rise?
Fiona,
it's not. No, yeah, active rise takes a little bit longer. Rapid rise will be more, it's more of an instant yeast.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for, instant yeast. Great questions. Keep them coming, people. All right, so got our yeast.
By the way, another tip that I want to throw out there is that I love pizza. You can also kind of partially, you can make a good batch of the dough and then partially cook it and then freeze your pizza. This word is not coming to me, but you know.
That's what I plan to do.
Freeze it. Yeah.
But I have to par cook it first. I can't just freeze it raw.
So I par cook it, because then that way when I take it out, when I freeze it, you know, I can take it out and then it just finishes cooking with the cheese or whatever toppings you're going to be using. And yeah, and I think that also helps to keep it crisp. Because I always cook the dough beforehand because it prevents it from getting soggy.
Smart. Cool. All right, so I'm adding my spices. So my spices are going to be my salt, a little bit of garlic. I want to put oregano in here, red pepper flakes, because I add red pepper flakes to everything. If they could dry, if anybody finds out, do they dry Scotch bonnet pepper and turn them into flakes? I'd love to have that in my cabinet and use that in all things. But anyway, till then, I use my red pepper flakes. It makes things spicy for me too. My oregano, if you have other herbs you wanted to add to this, if you had some dried rosemary or some thyme, I highly recommend that. I'm only gonna do.
So there's a question, Ava. I'm sorry that I haven't gotten to your question. I hope that your onions are still okay. But she asked about how much oil should go into the pan because her onions were starting to burn. Should she add more oil or water?
Add some oil to it and maybe turn the flame down a little bit, because I've had my pan on. Fiona, can you spotlight the other camera? Let me show them what's going on in my pan for my onions.
So we have both cameras spotlighted right now.
Oh, you can do that?
New Zoom. It's a new Zoom feature. Yeah.
Excuse me. Hello. So y'all can see this, the pan. So this has been on for 30 minutes and it's burnt. It's, you know, it's caramelizing them really slowly. But the idea is to have the heat on really low. So mine is on number 2. Can you see that flame?
That pile of books is blocking the pan.
Oh, there's another camera. There's a second camera that, okay, you know what? Let me remove this one in case it's
okay. Yeah, so they can
there
really
we are.
see.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Yay. Sorry about that. Yeah, so here. So this has been on for about 25, almost 30 minutes. And the key to caramelizing onions is really to leave it alone. Like you put them in there, you put a little bit of oil, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. And then you let it sit and you don't touch it till you start to see the edges brown. And then you mix it up and then you neglect it again. Like this does really great with neglect, which is why it's a great thing for me to do because I forget about my food all the time. So yeah, so that's it. So if it's burning on you, if you've had it on the stove top for like 10, 15 minutes, it probably means the fire is too high. You need to take it down a notch or two.
So Leia's mentioning that she's using a mix of leeks and onions, and she hopes that that's okay.
Sure. Leeks won't caramelize. They'll get nice, like you won't see it brown, but it'll soften, it'll tenderize, and that'll be really nice. But again, pay attention to what the onions are doing and make sure you get that browning process started with the onions. If the leeks look like they're becoming too tender or too soft, then taste it, see what it's like. And if it looks like it's getting too mushy, whatever, make sure to remove it from the stove before that point, because the onions will take longer to cook. But definitely you could start them at the same time. But I have a feeling, I haven't done it together before, but I have a feeling that the leeks may finish earlier than the onions. Okay.
By the way, everybody, Miriam has an amazing tip for us. eBay sells 100% Jamaican Scotch bonnet pepper plates. So if anybody is interested,
shut up.
Check out eBay.
Really?
Yeah.
eBay. Thank you. Who is that brought us the tip?
That's Miriam. Thank you for the tip.
Thank you, Miriam. You're awesome. I love our students, our participants. You're great researchers. Great source of all the info. Cool. So now I'm just mixing up all the dried stuff. I've got my herbs in here, my spices. I haven't put the honey yet. Honey, how much? 1/4 teaspoon. That's a 3/4 teaspoon. 1/4 teaspoon.
Ava, we know your onions are still going to be amazing. We knew that your burnt onions, I'm sure they're not actually burnt.
Gosh. They're not.
She said she just tasted them and they're good. We knew sweet, that. Right? Come on. You cooked with us before. We knew this was going to be the case.
Exactly. And yeah. In fact, y'all, I'm telling you, embrace mistakes in cooking. Like, don't get caught up in it having to be a certain way, look a certain way. Like, it's all about the process and what you learn and what you can turn it into, even if you do end up bungling something terribly. There's very few things that I've messed up that I wasn't able to fix somehow. You know what I mean? So just keep playing around and keep tasting it and see what you like, and you might surprise yourself. So, okay, so I've got my dry ingredients, I've got my honey in here, and now it's time to add my other items. So I've got water. So the key to adding the water, the key to this being a rapid rise situation is you want to have warm water. This is not warm. I thought I started with hot water so that by now it would be warm, but it got cold on me, so hold on.
Yeah, the temperature of the water is really important when
it matters. Because it's what activates the enzymes to make it go.
Yeah, maybe along with some kind of a sweetener. But you also have to be mindful of the water not being too hot, because then that will kill the yeast.
Right.
Baking is a tricky situation, but still lots of fun.
So she says. So she keeps telling me, y'all. I'm not sure about it yet.
I like baking.
She makes it look fun. I'm gonna have to take it up. In fact, I think that might be something that I do to get me through this winter. I might take on baking some things. Yeah, it's warm. Things I've always wanted to make but never made, like focaccia. Do y'all know focaccia bread? It's a flat bread that you could like put things into, like herbs, or rosemary and olive oil, and it's just it's so good. And you could use that as like your dough for your pizza and top wonderful things on it. really cool. All right, so I've got my water. Now I need my oil. So I'm adding, you want 4 tablespoons if you're just doing the recipe as instructed. Again, I'm doubling mine, so don't mind my measurements. And then, so I got all the things, right? My water, my oil, and now you combine. And now what we want to do is we want to form this into a sticky ball. And you want to have, I'm going to fill my cup up with a little bit more water because, again, with baking, you know, you really have to, you measure things exactly. And then you also, texture matters. And so in our case with the pizza dough, if we find that it's too wet, we're going to add more flour. If we find that it's too dry, we're going to add more water, maybe even some more oil. So I'm going to have some water on reserve just in case.
And it's really important to know that when you're making a dough, rather than following the exact amount of liquid, really do pay attention to the texture, because the humidity in your kitchen or you know how long you've had your flour, all of those things could affect the dough and how much water you'll need.
All right, at this point, I'm just going to use my hands, y'all, and we'll use this to combine it. So make sure your hands are clean. You do what you got to do, and you're just kneading it. Oh, it feels so good. I love the feeling of this. And it smells good too. This is also a good way to get your angst and your frustrations out. You guys do this. This is a good time actually to get into what are folks doing to give themselves comfort this season in anticipation of the winter. Whether you like it or you don't like it, like how are you planning to take care of yourself, your family, anything special, anything that you're taking into account? I'll start. I'll give you an example. So me, again, I don't like the winter at all. I dread it always. And particularly now with not being able to go outside and get away and la la la. So I decided that I would make my home environment as like cozy as possible, like really like surround myself with soft things, blankets. I bought some candles. I bought like a really nice, soft, heavy blanket that I can put on me when I'm reading a book. So and I turned my bed into I create a canopy for my bed with lights, so like twinkle lights that go around it. So at nighttime, I just put it on and I enter the room, and it's like this whole little retreat oasis experience. I'm in heaven. I'm ready for it. That's what I'm doing.
That sounds amazing. I actually want to address a question in the chat before we go on to hear how folks will be comforting. Okay. What texture should folks be looking for the pizza dough?
Okay. So you want it to be, I'm going to read my thing. There's it. You want it to be able to form a ball. That's what it says. But you don't want it to be, so you want it to be like this. This feels right.
Almost like Play-Doh.
Almost like Play-Doh. You don't want it to be crumbly. You don't want it falling apart. You want it to be able to come together and stay together.
You don't want it to stick to your hands.
And you don't want it to stick to your hands. Remember, Fiona, we did another recipe last summer where it was a different recipe, y'all. And it was, I was sticking all over the place. It was just not cute. It was like we're in the middle of a class and I couldn't get it off my hands. This is sticking. This is what you want. This is what you want. Okay? So, and I actually have some more dough in here. That I might.
Does that help?
Right.
Would it help if Karen put it a little closer to the camera, or is everybody all set? Are you good with the dough? Cool.
Yeah.
How's it coming along? Those who are cooking, where are you in the process? Have you done your onions? Are you mixing the dough? We'd love to hear from you and love to see if there's anything that you can show us. Who's got some onions in the pot that you could maybe show us? Caramelized onions.
Please show us.
We'd love to spotlight you.
The onions are coming along nice, I think.
Yeah, can we take a look at it? Do you mind if we come and spotlight your pan?
Let's see.
Nice and slow.
Nice.
Yeah?
Cool.
I just flipped them over.
Very nice.
You just flipped them over? Fantastic. Hello.
Thank
I'm excited, y'all. Thanks for showing us.
So I think, Ava, we're coming to you now. Are we? Let me see. Let me find you. Our buddy, Ava. You're not on my screen right now, so I'm... Oh, there she is. Here we are.
You found her?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's the results you want, y'all. There will be some parts that you know, get really dark, but taste it. When you caramelize onions, the purpose for doing this is it really it gets all the sweetness out of it. It coaxes really slowly all the sweetness into the onion, and so and it kind of like melts in your mouth, and it's just this amazing experience.
Yeah, when I bought the Vidalia onions, so I already have bought the sweet onions.
Okay.
So when I tasted them, it's like it literally melted in my mouth with a little char, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's called texture. It's fine. It is so. Oh, I'm so glad. That's fantastic, y'all. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for showing us. All right, this dough is ready. So we're gonna put it here, cover it with saran wrap.
The onion is, you have to do it in the cast iron?
You want to use a heavy bottom pot because the idea is it transfers the heat uniformly throughout. And so it allows for an even cooking experience for all the pieces of the onion. But if you just use the best quality pan that you have and put it on low heat, a little bit of oil, make sure the oil is hot, add your onions, and then just let it be. And if you need to, like in my case, because we've got a cooking class and we're not here all night, I am going to turn the heat up a little higher to coax it along. But yeah, do what you can. See what it looks like in the next few minutes. And if we need to put it on higher, we can do that and keep an eye on it together. Sounds good? That's not going to cover anything, Karen.
Yeah. I was looking, I'm like, Karen, you may
yeah, it's not working at all. And actually, I think it might be better. You tell me, Baker Fifi, do I put it like directly on the saran wrap, the dough itself? Is that better than, no, do the bowl?
No, just at the top, yeah.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I think you want it to rise, so you want to give it some space.
Oh, true. You don't want to restrict it.
Is anybody else done with the dough? We would love to see how your dough turned out.
Yeah.
Not yet? Okay. All right. Oh, is anybody using just, dough that you bought? That's cool too.
Yeah, exactly.
I cheated. I bought a pizza dough already flattened out. I already bought pizza dough.
Perfect.
Smart.
Yeah.
That is easy. No, I don't blame you. That is a great trick to do. Cool. All right, y'all. I'm going to move over to the stove top, take a look at the onions, and I'm also going to check my butternut squash to see how it's doing and make sure to take it out because I want to take it out before it's I don't want it fully cooked throughout because I am going to puree some of it into the sauce, but I also want some of it, I want to cut up into cubes that we'll put on top of the pizza. So I don't want it to be too soft and mushy that it won't hold its shape in the form of a cube. You got me? Let's go check. All right. I have this. And yeah, I'm going to turn my onions up just a tad. Look at them.
Can we take a look in the pot, Karen?
Can you see the onions?
Yeah, let's see the onions. Nice. Yeah.
All right. So it's coming along. Okay. And now
Esther, how are your onions coming along? I know you were here just to do the onions. How are they coming along? Let's see. Oh, good. Yeah, they're starting to brown a bit there. Nice.
Yum. And so this is my squash. This is the squash. See?
That looks so good.
It is so good. I love my squash. It's so smooth.
So
and
those
just, like,
of you
buttery.
who, yeah. If you used to, if you've been cooking with us, you know that I used to complain so much about being the co-host and the sous chef and not being able to eat because Karen was at another location. But now she's cooking at my house, so I get to eat. So I am so excited about this.
This works out great for both of us. Yeah. Love it. All right. One thing, one trick y'all can employ that you're about to see me do, and that is when you find that some of your onions are browning quicker than others, and you don't want to worry that they might start to burn if they stay in longer, you just take out the ones that are done. You know, you just take them out, and then that creates more space for the others.
Yeah. And does that happen because the onions are not as even? So is that part of it, that you want to try to make them as even as possible?
Exactly. That could be the distribution.
I have a question. Did you roast the butternut squash in its skin in the oven just like that without cutting it up?
Yep. I didn't cut it. Only thing I did was I pierced it with a fork. I pierced it throughout so that it doesn't.
Because usually I don't like it because it's so tough to cut, and I end up cutting my hands and cutting a whole bunch of stuff because it keeps slipping. So that's a great idea to do that way.
Honey, yes. And even if you don't want to roast it completely, like say you had other plans for the butternut squash, but before you cut, but it requires cutting into it, just put it into the oven still, even for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, because that will soften it enough without cooking it to allow you to cut it without losing your mind.
That's perfect, because I use so much butternut squash by cutting it too deep or whatever. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, and you risk cutting yourself, so don't do that. You're welcome. Yeah.
Ava made the same comment that I made about your shirt, Karen. She said, "You go, girl, with that sexy shirt."
Thank you. I'm telling you.
This is how you all look when you're in the kitchen cooking, right? You put on your finest.
I tell you, I was inspired by the weather. It's like summer in New York all of a sudden. I couldn't help myself. I'm like, I want to feel like I'm in a bathing suit. Why not? Let's just kick it. All right, so I'm just taking out some of the already done pieces. And
someone mentioned that they use a potato peeler to remove the skin. Are you ultimately removing the skin, Karen? I believe you are, right? Of the squash?
Yeah. Yeah, potato peeler works well because that I haven't learned what's the easiest way to peel the squash. I just struggle through it. But a potato peeler, has a potato peeler similar, it's the same as a vegetable peeler, right? That's what I typically use. Yeah, veggie peeler. As a matter of fact, Fiona, where's yours?
It's in the drawer over to the left-hand side.
Where I'm standing right now? Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'll grab that in a second. Anyway.
Or potentially in the dishwasher.
Sure, to the left-hand side.
Lots to talk about your blouse and your arms, Karen. Just FYI.
Thank you, people. Y'all are dope. All right. Or the dishwasher, she says. See. So I needed.
How long did you keep your squash in the oven? And what temperature? 375.
375 for about 30 minutes. Yeah, it varies. I think I've had mine in here for about 30, maybe 40 minutes now.
But it will vary depending on the size. Yeah, it'll vary
depending on the size. Depends on your oven. Yeah, this is really soft.
Did she say 350? Karen?
375.
375. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm bringing out, you know what? I'm going to add the rest of my onions to not the rest, but some more of the onions to this. And then I'm going to work on cutting up the squash.
That is a really great point, Alexis. She mentioned that if it's soft and cool enough that you should be able to just peel the skin off with your hands. You actually shouldn't need a tool.
If it's what? If it's cool enough?
If it's soft, after you roast the squash, you really don't necessarily need a potato peeler. You can just peel it right off with your hands.
That's what I'm going to do. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Thank you, my dear. The thing is, it's really hot right now, so I just need to give it a little little time to cool off and burn myself in the process. 6:18.
Yeah.
All right.
Use the peeler when it's raw.
So actually, Fiona, I needed you to set the timer. For how long does my dough need to rise? I think 30 minutes. No, 20 minutes. 20 minutes. So set it for 15 minutes now. We should be good in 15 minutes. And now I'm gonna bring this over here. I'm gonna bring my squash over to you all. That's interesting. Beautiful. All right.
I love that Esther is making these onions and she says she has no idea what she's going to do with them. So many options. So many.
That's what I was asking her. What are you going to do with them? So many options. What do you like to do with your caramelized onions, Fiona?
Hold on, I'm setting my timer.
Okay.
If someone else can chime in, I'm going to get this timer set here.
Yeah, folks who make caramelized onions, who have eaten caramelized onions, how have you done it? You see how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right here on this pizza. But I've also added it to like pasta dishes. If I've got a pasta that I made, like even macaroni, I had this macaroni thing that I added green peas to and some Parmesan cheese. And it was left over and it was really good the first day, but the second day I was like, it tastes kind of plain. I had some leftover caramelized onions, mix that into it. It's a whole new dish. It's amazing. So
onion soup.
Onion soup. Oh wow, the additional flavor to that onion soup. Amazing. Okay, I'm moving around a lot. Sorry.
Yes, add it to fish, steak, chicken. That's what I was thinking. You know, on top of a burger of any kind.
Ooh,
fish
on top of
for
burger.
sure.
Okay. Haha. So this is what we're doing. It's so, oh my gosh, it's taking all of my willpower, y'all, not to just like eat this off of the spoon, off of the fork. It smells so good. Okay, so yeah, who was it that mentioned that you can just peel it really easily with your fingers when it's warm and soft?
That was Alexis.
Look, Alexis, she was right, everybody. Marvel. I'm watching my pan because I hear it sizzling, but it's doing fine. So yes, you may notice your onions making noise in the background. That's fine. Keep watching them. You're looking for it to get brown. So if it's not getting brown, let it make as much noise as it wants to. It's not disturbing anybody.
By the way, I just reposted the recipe in the chat in case you missed it.
Okay.
A link to the recipe.
Cool. All right, so I'm just gonna do this. And then the idea here is we're gonna cut off. So for me, the part, as you can imagine, actually, no. The part that's softest is the biggest part. So I'm gonna use that part to put into the blender to blend and make our puree. And then this part, I'm gonna cut up into cubes. So it's coming off. Really.
Karen,
how's everybody else doing with their squash?
I'm actually going to check in with you really quickly. How's your dough doing? Because it might even be better to put it on the stove because the warmth will also help.
Smart. Okay. The baker knows. Let's get you over here.
Did anybody else actually make dough this evening? I'm so curious to know how it's coming along if you did.
Yeah.
Everybody else was smart. They're like, no, we're not making dough. It's like a weeknight. We're not taking the time to do that. We bought some dough.
What's wrong with these people? So yeah, I highly encourage you do this on a weekend with your family if you want to. It's not so bad.
Let's see, where are you?
But yeah, I'm continuing to take out the pieces that are already brown. What's up?
Karen, let me come to that camera.
What's happening? Oh, the second camera. You're trying to find me. There's a lot of you. How many people are here with us tonight?
We have about 57 people right now.
Wow.
I think some people had to sign off, but yeah.
That's excellent. So
You can use, Claudia is asking if you have to put white in wheat or if you can only use wheat. You can use only wheat, I'm sure, but then you would need to adjust the water content.
Exactly. You probably need more water.
You're welcome.
Oh, so good, so good, so good. Okay. Let me get back to butternut squash. So this is coming along fine. This is exactly what we're looking for. Let it be.
Yeah, Esther's asking if she can keep the onions and do something with it tomorrow. Of course, definitely.
Of course. Totally.
For sure.
Add it to sandwiches. Ooh, who was it that was working, who was doing the onions with the leeks? I want to know how that came out, or how's that coming along? Can we see?
Oh, Marissa made the dough. Can we see? Can we see? Marissa, where are you? Let me find you. There you are.
Here, let me flip my camera.
Okay.
Oh God, now you're just getting a close-up of me.
Oh,
did
wow.
you add some seasoning to it, Marissa?
I did. I did oregano and basil and parsley, and then when Karen suggested red pepper, I went back and put in a few specks of red pepper.
Oh, nice. Ooh, the basil's gonna be really good in that. It's gonna pop. Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait for y'all to taste this. Okay, cool. So,
Esther wants to show her onions. Yes, we love it. Here I come. Nice. Coming along really nicely.
Yeah.
So I think as Karen mentioned, it would be good for you to take some of the ones that are already brown. You may want to take some of those out and just let the other ones keep cooking. Thank you for that.
Okay. I love butternut squash. I haven't made butternut squash in a very long time. This time is butternut squash season. There's going to be more of you in my life.
By the way, if any of you want to show your pot, please do mention it. Post it in the chat or just unmute yourself. We love when you cook with us and you share your food.
Yeah.
Yulin, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, but Yulin, I know you're in the kitchen. Do you have something to share?
I am in the kitchen, but I feel bad because I'm not making pizza. I'm making brown stew chicken and rice and peas.
Oh my gosh.
That's all right.
Never
Did you do some onions?
bad.
We want to see that too.
Never feel bad for making brown stew chicken, rice, and peas. What? That's my food right there.
I know. Can you post that recipe in the chat, please?
Can we see it?
Yes, I will show you just now. Right now I'm cutting out the thing, but I'll show you in 1 second.
I hear Yulin's accent. I think that Yulin is Guyanese, like I am.
I am.
I hear that accent.
Look
yes.
Yes,
I can always tell my accent. You and I both.
I love it.
Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I'm trying to move my phone.
Okay. Brown stew chicken. It's one of my favorites. All right.
Okay, let me come over there to you. Give me 1 second. I have a lot going on my screen. Okay, here we are. Replace spotlight. Okay, that's the rice and peas. Okay.
Yes. And then here, can you see? I have so much stuff in my kitchen.
The chicken is seasoned.
It's marinating.
Yes, the chicken. Mm-hmm.
What's in there?
So I have I made green seasoning.
Okay.
So first of all, I have onion, I have pepper, I have garlic, and we have to put potatoes in our food. So yes, I have potatoes too.
I love
Too many
it.
starch, but it's just what I'm used to.
Yeah,
very good. Y'all, you got a twofer tonight. Did you get this?
Hello.
You got
honey, did you write it down? Did you write down all the things? Okay. So, all right, y'all. So I got my butternut squash open over here. And I'm going to take the guts out. I'm going to take out all the seeds. And if you like, you can roast the seeds. You'd have to just rinse them really well, get all the guts off of it, rinse them, dry them. The key to roasting the seeds is to have it be really dry before you put it into the pan, so that it actually roasts and doesn't end up steaming on you. Trust me, I know from experience. I've had a couple of steamed roasted squash or steamed squash seeds, and it's not the tastiest of situations. In any event, so I'm going through this. I'm going to go pretty quickly. I'm just scooping up and putting them in here. And then
while you're doing that,
yeah.
Go ahead. I was just going to say that.
You go. I promise this time you go.
I just wanted to thank those of you who are cooking with us, even if you're not making this recipe. We love so much that you're in the kitchen and cooking with us. So if any of you want to do that, just join us and cook, even if you're not making the same recipe.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Totally, because I think, in fact, that's one of the things that I've been doing to nurture myself and be good to myself. It's these classes. These classes have been great because it has showed me that even when I'm not in the mood to cook, that I will show up for other folks. I'll come here for you all, and I will cook and make a dish that really fills me up and makes me feel good. And the experience of cooking in community is a fun thing, to the point where if I didn't have so many cooking classes, I would actually just call up family and friends.
I'm ready to go in the oven. What do you think?
What are you doing? When are you cooking? Let's cook together, even if it's not the same meal. Like
hold on, Karen.
Hold on. Let me hold my thought.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Ooh. Wait a minute. What's all that? What are we looking at?
Beautiful. Look at this. Karen, you are so far behind.
Oh my gosh. Look at that. He's got his pizza together, y'all. Wow. That looks amazing.
Thank you for sharing. All right, Karen, coming back to you.
Okay, yeah, I need to stop talking to y'all.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're doing way more talking. Can we
Okay. So I'm gonna
if we can just move the cup. Yeah, thank you. Great.
Cool. That's what I have you tell me what to do. I'm washing my hands, and then I'm putting this in the blender, and then we're gonna cut up the rest of the squash. And we're good to go. So I've got my blender here. Actually, I'm gonna bring this to me, make my life a lot easier. And then I'm gonna take this. Friend who showed us your pizza already put together, so I didn't put it in the oven, right? What did you add to your butternut squash puree to season it? Or did you just do the butternut squash by itself? You can do that. But you can also add some garlic to this, some fresh garlic or some garlic powder, a little bit of salt, whatever you like. So I am going to wash my hands again. And then I'm going to add some salt, some red pepper flakes. I had garlic.
Ava, what's happening in your kitchen, Ava?
I lost it. There you are.
I'm doing my second batch of onions, and they look a whole lot better than the first.
Okay.
I roasted the butternut squash yesterday, so I have the puree ready and the cubes ready.
Beautiful.
So I'm just waiting for the onions to finish, and then I'm gonna pop my crust, my ready-made crust in the oven to crisp up a little bit, and then I'm gonna put it together and then throw it back in the oven.
Beautiful. Yeah, I definitely recommend. Yeah, recommend putting the dough in the oven first, just to get it a little pre-cooked.
Yeah.
Because it will prevent some sogging.
Okay. I've got my butternut squash in the blender, and now I'm going to add my garlic to that. Mind you, garlic wasn't in the original recipe, but as I was looking at this and I had some garlic here, I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and add this. So We definitely believe in improv at Beautifully Fed Food. Look at what you have and make adjustments. Look at what you have, look at what you like, what you enjoy eating, and then put something together. That's how we like to cook. Okay, so all that's in there. And now we can go and get this going. Let's see.
Yeah, please do share your recipes with WorkWell. The email is workwell@olr.nyc.gov. It is in the chat and Beautifully Fed Food as well. And then on IG, it's at WorkWellNYC. And Karen, Instagram. I know we're updating our Instagram.
We are. But right now, you can find us at I Am Beautifully Fed Food. In the interim, that's still active-ish. Check us out. You tell us. I am beautifully fed. No food is attached to that. Just I am beautifully fed. All right, I said I was going to put the blender on, but I lost. Who disappeared? Me?
You. Okay, there you go.
There I am. I was in front of the other camera. Remember, I've got two cameras here. But what's disappeared for me, I disappeared for you, but what's disappeared for me is the cover for the blender. And I need that in order to blend.
We're 15 minutes have passed away for your dough. Yeah.
Oh, good. The dough's ready. That's excellent. Now I just need the...
Is it behind the blender?
It's not behind the blender. It's not here, right? Nobody can see it here. Okay.
That is correct. I am beautifully fed.
Yay. I have the blender. Did I drop it?
Boy.
Karen.
About in the sink?
Ah! No, it's not in the sink. It's in front of me, in front of the pizza dough. All right. So I go like this, Fiona says.
Yep, it just snaps on.
In place. And then I put it at 3. Let's see. And then, maybe a little higher.
This is a very powerful blender, you all. This is a Vitamix I saved for months so that I can afford a Vitamix. It is such a powerful and just awesome.
It really
blender.
is.
Does anybody else have a Vitamix? You do, Yulin, yeah?
I'm gonna add some water to this to help it.
Right, Ava? Isn't it the best? It was a treat to myself. Yes.
It's powerful.
It is, but like when I'm trying to make carrot juice or stuff, it just makes everything so, it pulverizes everything so small. And then by the time I finish and I'm straining it, all the pulp comes through still because it's so fine.
Drink it all. Don't lose the fiber. That's what I do. I don't juice. I just blend it in that Vitamix, so it is fine. And then you just take it all in. So you're not losing any of the fiber, any of the nutrients. That's the beauty of the Vitamix.
That's the beauty of it. She's right. Ooh. Oh my God. It smells amazing, y'all. Ta-da. So that's what you're going for, texture-wise. To season this up with some salt, because I don't remember adding that to it. But all right, so our dough is ready. I can roll it out, and I'm gonna cut up this. And so this time I'm just cutting around the core so I can avoid having to deal with the guts.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back to the other camera. Okay. 2 smoothies a day. Yes, Rashma. What do you put in your smoothies? As Karen is prepping the squash, let's chat. Stacia, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but you've had yours for over 7 years. That is amazing. Yes, but that's the thing, you know. It costs a lot of money, but it lasts
a lifetime, I would hope, right?
Fruits and vegetables in your smoothies. Yeah.
I'm gonna let that continue. All right, y'all. We're gonna put together.
Okay, let's come back over to the stove.
Sure. All I'm doing is I'm adding a little bit more, because you'll see with the caramelized onions, the thing is it reduces so much. It's kind of like spinach when you cook spinach, how you start out with like a huge amount and then it gets to be a little. So that's what happens with the caramelized onions. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more to my pan. It's fine. We'll be done before the class will be done before all the onions are done. It's okay. Me and Fiona will be here cooking and eating onions all night. And now
Sally has had her Vitamix for 13 years. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so intrigued by all of your messages in the chat. Karen, let me come back over to
that's
you.
Fantastic. Yeah, that is a wonderful investment. That makes it worthwhile.
For sure.
Do it.
It is a lot of money, but I mean, 20 years, over 20 years,
Wow.
I think you recoup the value.
And how much does the Vitamix cost typically?
About $400 on average. There are different models, but yeah. And so you put half of the squash in the blender and then half on top. Is that right, Karen?
Exactly. About more or less. And if I come across any like really soft pieces, I just go ahead and add that to the blender. Still. Okay. Yay, and now I'm just cutting.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm getting all kinds of tips about the blender. So Sally got hers tuned up right before. I have to get mine tuned up. I actually want to get a new...
How often do you tune it up?
This is the first I'm hearing of this. That's why I'm enjoying the chat so much.
Yeah, let her tell us. And does the company do it for you for free? Or where does one go to tune up their Vitamix? I'm learning.
Yeah,
I don't have a Vitamix,
tell us more, Sally. Tell me more, please.
Okay.
All righty.
Fine. So I'm going to. I need another bowl. I'm going to do for a bowl.
Claudia posted a great smoothie recipe in the chat. Those who want to take a look.
Oh yeah.
No Vitamix needed.
I had another bowl and I lost it. Here you are.
All right, folks. How's it coming along? So let's see. Is anybody done? We were in the kitchen with Mary Coffee. Is that pizza already out of the oven?
Just came out.
Can't wait for you to taste it.
Oh yeah, that's the best. That's my favorite part. The tastings.
Yeah. Oh, here we come. Take a look, everybody.
Ooh, yum.
Nice.
Wait, are there mushrooms on top of there as well? What else do you have on your butternut squash?
No, that's just
dark. Wow, they browned really beautifully for you. Look at that. That looks yum. Did you add any cheese in addition?
Yeah, mozzarella.
It's on the bottom.
It's on the bottom. Oh, it's going to be nice and gooey. Oh, wait.
Looks really good.
Wait.
Nice. It really does. It really, really does.
Yeah. Can we see you eat it?
Oh.
No.
Can we see you put it into your mouth, please?
Can we see you eat it? Did that already happen? Did I miss it?
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
This is Karen's not kidding. She really wants to see you eat it.
I really want.
I'll come back to you once you're seated.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, he's cutting it up. It's going to take a minute.
Okay, we'll come back.
Cool. So I'm wiping down my countertop because it's time to roll out the dough. So we want to do that. So give me 1 second. Now that our dough is ready.
Oh wow! Another recipe posted in the chat. Claudia, awesome. You were just really
for what?
This one is for a snack for kids. Let's see.
Oh, sweet.
Peanut butter energy bites. Nice. It reminds me of the recipe that Karen did for granola during the summer. I know lots of folks are still checking that one out.
Nice. Oh, this would go well with that. Ooh, the granola with these bites on top. That would be Marissa, you should try that. I know Marissa has made the granola a few times. Try it with the peanut butter bites. I love peanut butter. All right. So I'm going to put a little bit of flour on here. You could roll this out with or without a rolling pin. I happen to have a rolling pin because I'm in Fiona's fancy kitchen. So we're going to make that happen. She bakes things all the time.
Oh, Imani, that's great. She said that the parfait from the class this summer was her summertime snack. Love that.
Oh, we love to hear that. That is amazing. What are some of the mix-ins? What are some of the things that you added to your parfait? Or did you make it exactly as the recipe said? Which is fine too. And we still want to know because a lot of folks don't know what that recipe was. They weren't here.
Yeah, the recipes, Marissa, maybe you can let folks know where they can find the recipes.
Oh, wow. All right, y'all. So for those who haven't made the dough for what you're looking for, I don't know if you remember what the dough looked like before. Fiona, can they see my camera?
Mm-hmm.
But it's risen. Yeah. Look at that. It's like doubled in size. Mm-hmm. And you can kind of hear it working. And we're going to take this out. Put it here. And then we're just going to stretch it out. I'll move this to the side. Okay. And now the idea is you want to stretch it. And I said I was going to cut it in half. Let me do that so that I can save half and we don't have to eat all of it right now.
Looks like Mary's getting there.
Although, Fiona, you said you should bake it. When we bake it, we should roll
Hold on 1 second, Karen. Okay. Hold on 1 second.
No problem, no problem.
Nice, nice. We're seeing Mary's slice. That was really good. Really, really good.
I want to see again. Hold on, I walked away. Do it again, do it again. Let me see. Are you eating it?
Karen, yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, yes. Yum. I can see the mozzarella pieces.
Nice, nice.
Oh, that looks amazing.
Thank you for sharing.
If only we could actually taste it.
Alexis says, Mary, she loves the way you plated it.
Right? Pretty. We eat with our eyes first, people. It matters. So true. We want it to look good and taste good. I'm going for a rustic style pizza. So my crust doesn't have to be perfectly round. I kind of like it when it's not, in fact.
You just don't want it to be too much bigger than your pan, though. So keep that in mind.
That's true.
Someone is showing a recipe. Who is that? Somebody's showing a pan.
Oh, let me take a look. Thank you, Esther.
Anita. I don't know how you say her name.
Where are you? Can you unmute yourself and say, oh my God. Oh, there you are. Oh, look at this. Beautiful.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you put the arugula on top. Yeah.
Beautiful. You've been hiding from us all night, and look at this.
That's gorgeous.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Wow. Thank you.
That is gorgeous. Okay.
So, Mary, do you mind if I come back to you to get your opinion? I see you guys are eating. Oh, forgot the arugula. There you are. Ta-da. What did you think of it? Oh, you're muted. Oh. Sorry to interrupt you. I mean, you're trying to have dinner and we're just...
I really didn't know what this was going to be like. And
I love it.
Amazing. Thank you. All right. So we'll let you enjoy your dinner now.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you all for coming. If you have to leave, we really appreciated you joining us. And there's a question about the type of rolling pin. It's a French rolling pin, so it doesn't have the handles. You have to roll the entire pin rather than holding the handles. Fancy. So that's a French roll. It's not fancy.
Have you ever seen this before? It's fancy. Anywho.
Oh, sorry. You know what, Karen? I wasn't spotlighting you at the time. Will you hold it up again? I was at the other camera. Yeah, French rolling pin.
All right.
Oh, someone else's
spatula. What are they doing? Tell me.
Wait, so Jihan, again, I apologize if this is not the correct pronunciation, but have you made the pizza? You're mentioning that it has a spicy undertone. That means that you've made pizza and you're eating. We need to see this. Don't hold out on us. Come on.
Oh my gosh. Hello.
Do you mind saying hello and turning your camera on so that we can see? All right, you're probably enjoying your dinner and don't want to be disturbed. I understand.
We get that for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
How much pizza can be made with this quantity? Is it a 9 by 13 size pan? Karen?
I don't know dimensions like that. I have no idea. What would I say? I know this. The dough fits about a 8 to 10 inch pan. So about that. Yeah, the bottom of my skillet is about 8 inches, 10 inches. So yeah, that. And it's probably a little bit more filling than you need for the pizza. In fact, let's ask, was it Mary, your husband, that were cooking? What did you have leftover ingredients, or did everything that you made fit your pizza? Did you pile it all on the one pizza, or do you have more to add later? I usually have more.
The dough, also the dough, what size pan did you use with the dough? Oh, actually, they didn't make the dough. Yeah.
I'm not. Oh, was she asking about the dough, or she was asking about?
I believe so. Yeah.
I was asking about the dough because you said you were dividing it in half. So I don't know anything about baking. So I was wondering that quantity from the recipe. How do you, how do you?
Got you. Yeah, it's typically about like 8 to 10 inches.
Thank you for showing that, Mary. They use the pre-made dough. Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh my God.
Yulin is actually not making the pizza. Alexis is asking about Yulin, but Yulin is making brown stew chicken.
Which we want some of, but in any event.
Yulin, next time you can come cook at my house too.
Can you spotlight me, Fiona? I'm getting ready to dress up my
Marissa,
pizza.
yes, indeed.
Got this.
That was you, Marissa, right? Asking.
No, that was me, Karen.
Oh, I put mine on. I don't have anything to show yet, just yet.
Yours is in the oven? Okay, cool. But it's almost done, right, Marissa? Yay, we can share at the same time, hopefully.
I'll show you when it's done.
All right. It's me,
Thank you so much. This is so wonderful. I love the interaction because I'm always looking at YouTube quiet, not interacting with the person on the screen. So I really enjoy this. But now I have to go and finish cooking.
Nice. Come back again and again.
Come back. We'll be here next week.
I will. Thank you very much. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Here's my finalized caramelized onions.
All right,
Esther. Let's see how they came out.
Nice.
There you go. Have you tasted it yet? Taste that.
Yeah. I don't need to put them in anything. I can just eat them.
How beautiful.
Esther was worried about what she's going to do with the onions. She's like, you know what? I don't have to worry. I'm just going to eat them just like this. It's going in my mouth. I get that. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I know some of you have to head out. Thank you so much. Join us again next week. We'll be back here, same place, same time. And we look forward to having you cook with us. Even if you're not making our recipe, just come cook with us. It's so nice to have company cooking.
It really
Thank
is.
you, Elizabeth.
Ta-da. Oh my gosh. Right. So now I'm going to add my caramelized onions. Can you see me at the stove, Fiona? I'm at the stove.
Yeah, I think that if you were, yeah, it's fine. Is everybody okay? Because I think if you came over to the other camera, it might be better, but I think it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
I see what you mean. Because yeah. But yeah, I didn't want to put, it's because this pan is really hot. I didn't want to put it on the cutting. Yeah. Anyway, it's safer on the stove. So I'm putting down, I put down my puree, and now I'm covering it with the caramelized onions, and we're spreading it out. I still have some more in the pan I can add.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You all can definitely stay. I know some people were saying that they had to leave in the chat, so I was just saying goodbye to them. But if you have time, please stay. Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll be here until we're done. Stay on with us. We're almost done. And granted, we still have to put it in the oven, but you got a sense of what the finished product looks like. How folks are doing it in their own kitchens. Who's still cooking with us? Who's still with us because they're still cooking and not quite done?
Marissa just put hers in the oven, right? So we'll get to see yours. Ava, what's going on in your kitchen?
I'm in the oven.
Yes.
Yes, I have to leave in 5 minutes, so I was just trying to rush it so you could see the finished product.
Yay! Will it be ready?
I hope so.
Was that a maybe?
Yes, I can. Okay. 10 minutes max. I can stay, so I'm hoping that it's done.
Okay,
great. Leia just sent a message saying that her pizza's in the oven. Is there anybody else who's off camera who is cooking and can chime in to let us know how it's going?
Cooking in stealth mode. Love it. All the way.
Maybe in the next couple weeks you'll actually be on camera. We're just hanging out cooking. Nothing serious going on. Off camera, drooling, not cooking. I am with you, Alexis. But thankfully, I get to walk out into my kitchen and eat really soon. I've been banished to my bedroom for this class, but it's okay.
Oh my gosh, the things we do. So now I'm just putting the squash cubes on here for additional added texture and experience of the thing. So like I said, we did a whole butternut squash, but the whole butternut squash isn't going onto this pizza. Doesn't need to. And voila. Okay. So now I'm gonna add my I'm gonna add my arugula. So I washed my arugula, rinsed it in a colander, and now I want to add my lemon to it. What's funny? What's happening?
Imani, she's feeling my pain. She said she's glad I get to eat because I was always hungry during the summer. It's true. It's so true.
It's true.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I get to eat. Yes.
She gets to eat and we get to have each other's company. So this works out really well. Fiona, do you have a lemon juicer yet? I left mine at my place. Do you have one?
Oh, I have I moved on from that one. I use a different one now.
Different one.
Coming back.
Well, right. I don't know where yours is. So I'm using my hands, y'all. And I just dropped the seed. Don't do what I did. So in order not to drop the seeds, typically if you're not using a juicer, you want to hold it upright and squeeze. And then that way any seeds will just land right in its own shell. And I'm just doing this to give the arugula some flavor. I'm going to add some salt to it too. Come over with me to the other camera.
Oh,
and I'm going to put
so
this on top.
Yeah.
For telling you where I was going before I walked away. Okay. So.
And thank you for hanging out with us, Laura. I hope you enjoyed your meal.
Oh my God, y'all. Already, arugula and lemon. So good. It marries so well together. So all that's on here is lemon juice, fresh lemon juice, some salt, some pink salt to be exact, because that's what Fiona cooks with.
This is so funny. Karen makes it sound like I am so fancy, and Karen, yeah. So Marissa's asking about you putting arugula onto the pizza before you cook it. I was surprised by that too, actually.
Yeah, I didn't really mean to. I forgot. Thank you for
and
that.
now she's taking it all off.
I
wasn't
it
sure
really
what was
pretty.
happening.
No, that's not what's happening at all.
But
and
I said, let's go with it.
That's not. I mean, because it'll be soggy and wilty. No, because you want the fresh arugula. I forgot I hadn't cooked this yet. I'm hungry, y'all. I'm looking at this. It looks ready to eat right now, and so I thought I was about to eat something. I'm not. I'm slowing my roll. Okay. So, but it is dressed and it is ready to eat. So all you want to do to your arugula is you add a little bit of lemon, you add a little bit of salt, and you're done. What I do want to add before I put this in is my mozzarella cheese. And so I have fresh mozzarella that I don't even need a knife. I'm just going to go like this. This is what happens when I walk away from my recipe. I'm just going off the top. But yeah, I do remember that I add the cheese first. So I'm doing this now. And you could also add Parmesan cheese to this if you have some Parmesan cheese. That would be really delicious. I'm going to top the whole of this with a little bit of salt and some red pepper flakes too. Voila. All right. Okay. Now, salt. I've the salt already. Let me get the red pepper flakes, and then I'm going to put this in the oven. I promise you. You know what else you can do?
Over to you
I'll show you.
Oh no, going back.
Yeah, I just was grabbing. Sorry, stay here with me.
This is a fun job, you all, to chase Karen in the kitchen. It's like, where's Karen? Let's find her so we can. Ava is ready. Here we go. Yes.
I want to see you, Ava. Ooh,
all right. I'm turning around.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow. Talk about.
Are you having a party tonight? Look at this. This is amazing.
You're gonna sit and eat that. What's gonna happen with all of that? Oh, it's amazing.
Eating it the whole week. I don't even care.
Honey, why would you?
Ava,
look at that.
That
you know
is
what else?
beautiful.
That looks amazing.
So what I'm gonna do, guys, I have some I have some balsamic glaze, so I'm gonna put that on top.
Yes.
Look at you.
I have some truffle.
Don't.
I'm gonna mix it up. I'm gonna do balsamic glaze one day. I'm gonna do like a basil oil the next day. I got this truffle oil I'm gonna put on there. I'm hooking it up.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
It's honey. It's already hooked up. Look at that. That is
pretty.
Thank you, guys.
In fact, and it's funny that you mentioned the balsamic glaze, because what I decided to do is not a glaze, but I'm simply going to drizzle some of this honey that I have left over top after we add the arugula.
Yeah.
Just for another added layer of sweetness. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be delicious. So it's in the oven. We did it. It's in the oven. And because Fiona said, I think we're gonna go ahead and put this dough in the oven too, right, Fiona?
Yeah,
so
just
we
go
should par bake it.
To you deliver.
So
right?
Funny. That's cute. How long do you bake? How long is par baking? How long do we want to put that in there for? No, I need you to set a timer for the pizza that's in there now. What did you say?
How long would you like me to set it for?
8 minutes.
Bye, Ava. Thank you so much for coming and cooking with us.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much and for showing us your creation.
Yeah.
Inspo. That was fun.
It's always fun with you ladies. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, we're so glad you came.
Yeah.
Next week.
You cracked me up too, Ava. You were like, "Oh no, I burned my onions." Meanwhile, you're creating this like masterpiece.
Hello. This chick right here.
I mean, you were just messing with us.
No, I really burnt them. I really burnt them, but I don't care.
Yum.
All right. See you guys later.
All right, people.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. So we can put this in the oven when we have an. Oh, I can add it to this. All right. So while we're waiting,
Esther.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Thanks for cooking and sharing with us, Esther. Enjoy your onions.
Hi, people. When you par bake, do you add olive oil to this? I think we should. It feels a little dry.
Good night, Patricia.
Good night, Patricia.
Marissa, how's it coming along?
Yeah, have you tested yours yet?
Bye, Miriam.
I just wrote you, Fiona. It's
almost done.
Still in the oven, but I can show you.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah.
I want to see if the cheese is melted yet. If so, it might be ready still.
I think it's done.
Yeah.
Yay.
I'm gonna take it out.
Did you do a full whole wheat crust?
No, I did half and half.
You mixed it? Oh, yeah. Okay.
And it looks like you're using a cast iron skillet, right? You put it inside the
skillet? I was like a little nervous to do it upside down, so I just did it the way that I knew.
Yeah. No worries. You're just gonna need to be careful to scoop out to make sure it all comes out in one whole piece.
Yeah. Thank you, Marissa.
Thanks, Marissa.
You're welcome. It looks delicious.
It looks delicious.
Yeah.
Really.
Bye, Claudia. See you next time.
Bye, people. I'm gonna put you in to par bake. And to par bake, if my real piece is going for 8 minutes still, 4 minutes.
Yeah, just maybe 4 minutes or so. 4 or 5 minutes.
Can you set another timer for me for 4 minutes? Or 4 by the time I remember to look. 5. That's how we do. Okay. And what's the temperature for my?
Yeah, she is using the bottom of a pan to pre-bake.
I am. I don't say.
How's the other way? So you have 4 minutes.
Me? Who has 4 minutes? Me?
Pizza that's in the oven.
Yeah. The pizza does. Okay, good. I'm looking to see what I have it at 375. You know what? I'm going to turn it up a little bit. I'm going to press bake. 400.
Thank you all for hanging out with us. Hanging in there till the end. Love that.
Oh my gosh, it's awesome. I'm going to cut the rest of these onions, take out what's here, and then I'm going to cut up our Parmesan cheese. I never did find your vegetable slicer, and that would come in really handy to cut the Parmesan cheese.
She's behind the books.
Who's that?
Oh, hi. She is behind the books. I'm looking at timers. I'm looking at the chat. Got lots going on here. Sorry about that. Stop hiding behind the books, Karen.
Hiding behind the books. Sorry, y'all. Behind Waldo. Okay, I'm taking out the onions. Okay. Ooh, Oh, sweet. All right. We got 4 more minutes. I'm gonna add these onions in here. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt to it. And then we're gonna check out.
So those of you who are still hanging out with us, do you have any questions? Do you think you'll try this recipe?
Yeah.
Talk to us. Talk to us.
I want to know.
Have you ever made anything similar? Yeah. What would you replace even? You know, would you maybe use a different green? Would you use a different type of squash? There's so many different types of squash in the fall.
You could even go away from squash. I was thinking about the fact that Thanksgiving is coming up and people might have a bunch of sweet potatoes left over. It's already cooked. So think about things that you could add that you already have cooked that you could add to a pizza. I'd replace the butternut squash with sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, oh my gosh, how creamy and sweet that would be. Yum. Okay. So, oh my gosh,
Claudia's going to try it. Great.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Okay. I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna clean off Fiona's countertop.
Nice. They're trying it tomorrow. Oh, this is great. Someone says, G. Gardner says that they're gonna do it with their 13-year-old daughter tomorrow. She's an aspiring chef and enjoys these workshops. Nice.
Oh, that's awesome. Is she watching now?
It seems is your daughter watching now? Okay, let me come back to you there.
That is so cool.
Someone said, Stacia says that she'll try mushroom and artichoke on a rosemary crust. That sounds delicious.
Please do that. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love artichokes on pizza and mushrooms. And mushrooms, similarly, you want to caramelize.
See you, Marissa. Sorry, Karen.
Wait, Marissa, who was baking her pizza, how did it come out?
She showed us her pizza. Yeah.
Oh, there it is with the arugula on it.
We didn't see you eat it though.
Oh, you're not gonna get to see that today.
But look at it with the arugula. You're welcome.
I'm very excited.
Looks great. Thanks for sharing, Marissa.
Thanks for sharing,
bye. Have a good night. Oh, there's G. Gardner on camera. Yes.
Hey, thanks for joining us on camera.
Hi. So yeah, your daughter.
Tell us more about cooking with your daughter. Oh, she's there. Hi. There's 2 of them. Hey, people.
Karen,
the alarm.
Yes, both of them.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
Good. I hope you enjoy the pizza tomorrow. What's your daughter's name? Do you mind sharing her name?
Or do you mind?
Hi, I'm Shakara.
Hi, Shakara. I hope you like the pizza tomorrow.
Yay. Are you going to make it just as is? Or are you going to add your own things? Are you inspired to kind of play around? Oh, wow.
I think I'll make it like that. A little bit of an own flavor as well.
Huh.
Oh, Angela says that she's going to try adding prosciutto. I don't pronounce that word sometimes.
Oh, I love prosciutto.
This is her first time, and she'll be back. Yay!
Yay! Ooh, prosciutto. That's fancy too. I love it. Yeah. For y'all who don't know, it's a
like
thin
ham.
French ham or Italian ham, really cured and cut really thin, and it just has a salty bite. It's really delicious. What am I doing? I'm going to put a little bit of salt over top. Here's my pizza. I'm going to add a little.
Karen. Karen, we lost the sound. Okay, everybody, hold on 1 second. I'm just gonna let Karen know that we lost the sound. There we are. Yeah, the second video dropped, so we lost the sound there. She's just getting connected. Imani's waiting to see Karen dance. You're muted. Just unmute yourself now, Karen.
You want to see me do the dance? Okay, I gotta eat something first. So I took it out of the oven. You see it, and we drizzle a little bit of olive oil on it. What I forgot to do this time was drizzle olive oil on the pizza dough before I added the toppings. So it's a little dry, but it'll be fine. The stuff that's covered, the dough that's covered will be totally tasty. The stuff on that, anyway, it's gonna be fine. And now we're gonna add the arugula to it. But you see the cheese is all nice and melty. That's what you're looking for. And then we're just gonna go and we just add the beautiful arugula. Ugh. Haha. And yeah, you don't need to cook the arugula at all, because that's the whole point. Well, one of the points at least of adding the lemon. The fresh lemon juice helps to break it down. So it's nice and tender, and it adds a ton of flavor too, of course. Ooh, look at that. And now the last thing I want to do, I'm going to drizzle it with a little bit of, because I love sweet and savory. It's my favorite flavor combination. And so I'm just going to drizzle, kind of like what Ava was talking about, like a balsamic glaze that she was going to add. This will have the same kind of experience, because you're adding a little bit of sweetness, additional sweetness over top to something super savory. Okay. Yay! And now I'm just like lifting it. Can you also hear me? Because y'all are quiet.
We can, yeah. Yep.
Okay, good.
I think we're all just hungry now, and we have no more energy to talk.
It's super quiet over there. Okay. I'm just lifting this up a little with my hand. Okay. And now I'm gonna take it.
So Polly, Karen just added honey. So she sprinkled some salt, some olive oil, and then honey.
Yeah, if you happen to have fresh black peppercorns that you wanted to crack over top of this, that would be really pretty and beautiful too.
Going over to the other camera.
Go to the other. Oh no, there is no other camera.
There is no other camera.
Sorry, I'm going right back to where I was. And how do I do this though? Because I want to cut this. Let me see. I'm gonna cut this on a cutting board, and I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna wash this really quickly and dry it, and then we're just gonna cut the pizza, and you're gonna watch me take a bite. And Fiona actually gets to eat.
Yes, Fiona gets to eat.
Ooh, and not just salivate. Yay.
I'm still cracking up at your comment, Imani. You're like, she was always so hungry this summer. I was. I'm glad that you saw and experienced my pain.
Somebody did see. You were not alone. They understood. That is too cute. Oh. Community. Y'all get it. All right. Spatula. So yeah, so you really want a spatula to glide
Go to
under.
the other one.
This over here, right? Maybe I saw something. Okay, good. So, and then you kind of just want to get under. I'm gonna go all the way around. I'm gonna move my cutting board closer. Oh, hold on. Yeah.
So the pan that Karen used there is a it's a skillet. It's actually a flat round skillet. And when I make pizza, I actually do it inside of that pan. So you have the option of doing that as well. Because for me, it helps me to shape the dough as well because it's round. And so I just make sure I press it around the edges and then just bake it right inside. So that's an option if you have that type of a skillet.
Yeah, and our pan is actually flat enough that it would have required a lot to lift out of the pan. Like what I worry about people with like deep, 3-inch deep skillets is having to take it out. You kind of, the pizza is lost. You know what I mean? It'll still taste great, but it doesn't look like a pizza anymore. But I also wanted to just show you this technique.
I also have a pizza cutter in the drawer.
Haha, let's get that.
I love pizza. So
which drawer?
It's the one that you're standing right over. Left-hand side there. There you go.
Found you. Okay.
You can tell I'm a pizza lover.
Honey.
Although I don't have a pizza stone, I'm okay with my cast iron skillet.
Yeah, it works. I know I bought a pizza stone. I ended up sending it back only because it was really big and I didn't need that size for my kitchen and my lifestyle. But if I knew, I would have saved it for you, Fee. In any event, what's up?
So Polly is asking about how the Vitamix was tuned. And so I actually didn't get mine tuned. It was a participant, Sally.
Is she still here?
I don't know. I don't think that Sally is still here, but I'm going to see what she posted in the chat to see if there's anything that will help us.
Meanwhile, I'm going to take a bite. You ready?
Mm-hmm. And she does the dance. It's a success, y'all. Don't you love it? If you're not cooking, you just get to watch her eat and dance. Isn't it amazing? This is what Imani is talking about. This is the part where I would just sit there like, thanks, Karen. I'm hungry.
Go make it. If you haven't made it, it's so good, y'all. I want you to go just a little bit more honey on top. But the crust is a little bit crispy. Fiona's right. If you wanted to, if you have the time, put it into the oven to par bake before you add your toppings to make it even crispier. And again, you want to make sure that your pan is hot, that you're adding the dough to, because that assists in the crunchiness. But then with the lemon on top from the arugula, you get like this acid. Oh, it's so great. I love this. I love the pizza. It was worth the time. Thank you for staying on a little bit longer with us to have us finish. Is anybody still cooking or just finished and want to show us where you are?
I think everyone's eating or have eaten already. Thank you all so much for joining. I just want to address one last question. So Polly, you were asking about the Vitamix tune-up. When I looked at the comments in the chat, apparently Sally just called them because her container was discolored, which I wish I did, but I will now. And they offered to do the tune-up. So I think if you give Vitamix a call, it might be something that they can offer to you.
Yay. Oh my God. That was amazing, you guys. You've been beautifully fed.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, everyone.
This is so fun.
Thank you.